Hi, all. Welcome back. I am back for a very long overdue update. I am, first off, if you're new here, I should introduce myself. I'm Erin, the Two Martini Stitcher, here on YouTube and on Instagram. And this is my channel about cross stitch. And very occasionally I knit, although I haven't been knitting for a little while because I've been very focused on my cross stitch projects for this year. I turned 50 in March, and so I decided to celebrate this landmark birthday year that I would start 100 cross stitch projects. So, and we're in the middle. We've actually crossed over halfway. Today is Thursday, July 10th, 11th, 10th. And so we've passed the halfway mark, and spoiler, I have started 50 plus a few more so far. So I'm on track. I'm on track for the 100 starts. So if you're new here, that's what we've been up to. If you're a returner, thank you for hanging in here with me and coming back to see what I've been up to. I last recorded an update in the middle of May, and I knew that it was going to be a little longer. I had been trying my plan at the beginning of the year was to come back every 2 weeks with an update. I knew it would be a little longer than 2 weeks when I saw you back in May. Because I was headed to my daughter's college graduation. And then when I got back, I was having 2 surgical procedures kind of back to back. So I knew it was going to be probably a month. It ended up being closer to 2. I did have my gallbladder removed. I did have my skin cancer removed. And that all went beautifully. I am totally healed, feeling great. It's been lovely and wonderful, but it did take a little bit of time to bounce back. And then I had my daughter who graduated was home for a few weeks. She was here for a few weeks before she had to move back to New York to start her postgraduate life. And my youngest daughter is also home for her college break until I take her back to school next week. So I've just been enjoying having my adult children home for a little while. I do have 3 daughters. My oldest has been out of college for a few years and lives close by. She lives here in Seattle, and we get to see her fairly often, actually. So that's lovely. So I've just been reveling in my time with my adult children, and all of you empty nesters probably understand how rare that time can be. So you soak it up when you can. But that has not meant that I was not stitching. I was definitely stitching, just not taking the time to film. So I recovered from surgery, been spending time with the family, and then also world events here in the US have had me down, and I did not feel like coming on here and being happy and cheery and talking about frivolous things like cross stitch. And I still kind of don't, but at the same time, we all occasionally need a little distraction so that we can stay in the good fight. So I'm here to provide that for you for a little bit. It's going to be a long one because I'm looking around and there are lots of projects to show because I've had lots of starts. And I also want to show what I'm planning to start in the next several weeks as well. So there are stacks and stacks of projects. So we'll just jump right in. The first thing I've always been showing are the few projects I work on fairly regularly that are not new starts. So these are I always have a daily stitch. It's just something that I work on for the first couple strands, 20 minutes, 30 minutes that I stitch a day. So I have a daily stitch and then a couple other whip projects here and there. So I'll start with those. My daily stitch, when I left you, there's so many things, was this fantastic yearly stitch along from Just Cross Stitch. I know lots of people are doing it, so I'm sure you've seen it. It's Nature's Journey by Sprouting Lupine. And oh, this is yeah, I don't know why they're not showing. Oh no, this is summer. So I was working on spring when I last left you. Now summer has come out. And I was getting close to finishing up spring when I showed this last. And I did. I finished up spring and then I put it aside for a different stitch for a little while. And then the first day of summer, on the solstice, I picked this back up and started the summer section. So this is where I'm up to. Spring is completed. I'm starting on summer. I'll put up here where it was the last time you saw it. And here is my progress so far. So there's another little branch of flowers here. So there's still quite a bit more to do for summer. These sections are pretty dense, but I feel like it's flying along. I'll feel like that probably until I don't. It's sorry for how wrinkly it is. But the spring section came right down the middle through that tulip. And so you can see how it's going on summer. This is so pretty. I am loving this piece so much. I am doing this actually with all called for. This is 32 count into the veil. Into the veil? I believe so. By Bestitch Me and all DMC. So beautiful. I love this so much. I'm really enjoying this and I'm just going to keep going. This is going to remain my daily stitch until I finish the summer section. When I was waiting between the spring and summer section, I told you I was going to pull out my Disagree cell, and I did. So this is Disagree by Rebel Stitcher Design. It was a market release this year. There is a stitch along going on, Disagree Sal, and I love this piece. I feel this very deeply, and it definitely feels like the right thing to be working on right now. I am stitching it with this Stitcher's palette from Cottage Garden Threads. I think that these were a Nashville release last year. So you can see there's this one, Shadows, that has all three colors in it, the plum, the blue, and the green. And then there's a tonal variegated of the other ones. And I'm stitching this on 36 count Mushroom Bold from Color and Cotton. It is so good. I love this. I am doing the words all in the blue, and so I did all the words first, sort of first, so that I would know how much I had left to put into the Quakers. I hope that made sense. And here's where I'm up to. Ooh, figure out the best way to show this. I'll put where I was up here, and then this is where I am. She's kind of a big piece. I'll peek around the side. But I'm really happy with the progress on this. And then as soon as I finish the summer section on Nature's Journey, I'll come back to this. I'm hoping that I can have this finished by the end of the year. But it's so pretty. My light is kind of coming in and out. We have a cloudy day here. I have my ring light on, but I'm getting variable light coming in this direction. So I apologize if the light is kind of strange, but this was the time I had to do this. So this is when it's getting done. So there's Disagree. And I did get all the words done. Yes, I did get all the words done. And now I'm just working on all the Quakers. It's very wrinkly, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. I purchased my copy from Abby at Top Knot Stitcher. I'll link her shop in the description below because she has a fabulous shop. I'm sure that you can also get it directly from Rebel Stitcher Designs as well. Okay. The next whip that I work on, kind of in between my starts, is my Long Dog Leap Day Sal. So I started this last year on Leap Day, and my goal is to have it finished by the next Leap Day in 2028. And Oh, here it is. This is pointed fifth. I'm clearly a little rusty and out of practice. I feel like I have not been picking this up and working on it as much the past couple months as I did the first half of the year. And I don't know if it's just because I have a little bit less stitching time and it'll pick up again in the fall. I'll put where it was. I'll put a picture here of what it's going to look like finished. This is Pointed Fifth by Long Dog Samplers. And then I will also put a photo of where it was the last time you saw it, because I feel like for 2 months, this should have a lot more progress on it than it does. But it is what it is. Here is, oh, look at that. See, I do have more progress than I think, because this is a big piece. This is big, and it's clearly longer than I remember from showing it. Okay, here we go. There is my progress. Oh gosh, the light is doing weird things to colors. I apologize. So here's where I am. I think the last time I showed it, I wasn't totally finished with this arch here. So I think I filled in the rest of this arch and I started working on this scene here, which I was really hoping to have done by now, but I don't. And that's just how it goes. But I love this. I love this piece so much. And hopefully sadly, as the days get shorter, because they are getting shorter, I will be stitching more in the evenings and this will get some more work. But for now, that's where it is. And I am stitching this on a 36 count linen in Tephra by Cedar River Linens. Cedar River Linen. Some of the most gorgeous linen you can get your hands on. Go get you some. And I'm stitching this with a Mrs. Seda Silk and River. That's the main color. And then an NPI for the scenes in the arches. So that's Pointed Fifth. And now I want to work on that. Maybe I'll work on it a little bit tonight. Isn't this how it always goes? You show your projects and then you think, I want to work on that some more. Okay. And then the last whip that gets touched a little bit here and there is And a For a Screw. I hopped on the Motif a Week bandwagon and put a motif in this every Sunday that I'm home. Although I think I missed this Sunday. It was a long weekend and I lost track of what day it was when. So this might have not gotten a motif this past week, but I'll catch it up. I'll put here where it was last time you saw it, because I have no idea. Good question. But here's where it is now. I know I've done this one and maybe this one. I don't know. I've done some things. I've put some motifs on this for Motif a Week. And there it is. There it is. Okay. So that is it for all of the whips that I work on in and amongst the new starts, and we can get back to the new starts. There is quite a pile. I think I have them in the order that I started them, but no promises or guarantees. I know the one on top is out of order because it's actually a finish. So we'll start with that one. This is the Gobbler, and it's a finish. So this was a start and finish sometime in June. Sometime in June. It's on a 32 count vintage smoky white. And this is a chart by Heartstring Samplery. And Gobbler rides again. Turkey riding a horse. I can't remember if this was called 4 threads. I think it might have been. I think this might have been all called 4 threads. The chart did call for little single stars stitched around in this lighter gold color, and I just didn't feel like it. I didn't think it added in enough, and I didn't want to do all those single stitches. So this was the only start and finish I had. It had been a while since I had had a start and finish. So I was really glad to get this one done. And now it goes in the huge pile of things to fully finish. That is definitely a goal for me for the next month or so, is to try to start fully finishing things. I have such a pile. Would you all like Flosstube Extra that just shows all the things that I have sitting waiting to be finished? Maybe that would um, give me a little oomph to get them done. There's just so many things I have that like will make little pillows. I think I have some things that are even like 80% finished that I just need to like stuff and trim. I don't know. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. And I can certainly pull all that stuff together for a little Flosstube Extra. Okay. Now to the starts. I know that this is one of the projects that I took. It probably should have been a start and finish, except I took it when I traveled to New York for my daughter's graduation, and that is this little Lizzie Kate. It's called B49 Inspiration Boxer. I don't know that it really has a name, but that's what it looked like. It was a kit that I think came with just the chart and the linen and maybe a button. I think, yeah, it came with like the little buttons. So it was everything but the floss, which is it just calls for DMC, or maybe it calls for overdyes. It calls for overdyes, but has a DMC conversion. So I'm stitching it in DMC because it's small. And this is how much I got done. I started in the middle because it was kit fabric, but I prefer to stitch from top up. So I started in the middle. I counted over to the closest thing from the middle and then worked my way up. So that's why it looks like this. It's kind of a weird start. And this will be a quick finish. I'm keeping a list of things that I feel I could finish up quickly if I get to the end of the year and have some time to finish some things. So, but this is cute. Cute. And when I put my list together of the 100 things I was going to start this year, I really pulled things from stash. So that was something that I just had that kit sitting around. I think I bought it maybe off a D-Stash or on sale somewhere and just had never started it. So it was nice to mix in some of those smaller things that were just kitted up. All right. The other project I took with me on the graduation trip was this Vintage Needle Arts Lena's Fancy. I love this huge flower next to that deer. And I did get a start on this. I think I'm going to have to restart it though, to be honest. It is charted in overdyes, but has a DMC conversion. And I pulled the DMC conversion and it is just like, I don't know if you can see on the cover chart, that flower looks very, very like pink. It's pinks. And I should have noticed when I was pulling the DMC that the colors aren't. They're like dusty, mauvey colors. They're pretty. Like, I think that's why it didn't occur to me. But then as I started stitching it, they're just not, I think I want it pink and not this like dusty rose color. So I started stitching it on a 14 count Ada. It's a mystery. I think it's 14 count. Might be 16. I'm sure that it came out of a color and cotton grab bag. But so here's my start. So you can see it's not pink. It's like dusty rose and peach. And it's pretty, but I think I want it pink. So this might be a false start. Like I'm calling it a start. I'm going to try. We'll see. We'll see if I end up restarting it. It might be when I revisit these next year that I just restart it because I might feel differently when I get it back out again. But when I pulled it out to look at this, I was like, oh, I think I want it pink. And I looked at these overdyes and they're not that pink either. So it might just be the way it photographed, but I think I want it bright. I think I want it bright. So there's my start. I still love the chart. And I think this fabric's great for it because it's not that big. It's 76 by 80, even though it looks kind of big. It looks bigger than that. And it could be because the model was stitched on 14 count, which is why I went with this larger count Ada. I think this might be 14. I didn't. It's very pretty. It's like a taupey peach. So honestly, these threads look great on it. Maybe I'll leave it. I don't know. Give me your opinions. It's probably going to be a call for later, Erin. All right. Then I came back from graduation, and the day after I got back, I had surgery. And this was the project I planned to start for my recovery, during my recovery period. You got this. This was not on my list of 100 starts. I was not planning on counting this as one of my 100 starts because it wasn't planned. I just decided that this is how I was feeling. I needed some encouragement. And I just thought, I love this chart. I bought the Roxy Floss conversion for it. So I bought all of this from Evertotes, the chart and the conversion. And I really thought, because this is not that big, 91 by 89, I thought that I would start and finish this during my recovery. And you know what? Recovery was not that bad. I was up and at 'em pretty quick. I started this on 36 count color and cotton in River Rock. And I'll show you my start, but I definitely did not finish it. So there's my start. And then I was just feeling pretty good. And I was kind of up and at 'em. And I wanted to, rather than finish this, get started on my other starts. So we'll see. I might, as we get towards the end of the year, there might be something I don't want to start on my list of 100, and I'll count this. My rules. This is my silly idea and plan, and so my rules too. So this might be an audible adding to the 100, or it might just be a random extra from this year, but I love the colors on that Roxy Floss. And look how good that owl's already looking. She's so cute with her cup of coffee, with her big cup of coffee. And I was very excited to drink coffee again. When I was living with my sick gallbladder, coffee was not sitting well, and I love coffee so much. And I'm so happy to be drinking coffee again. It's the little things. Okay. I feel like this one might be out of order, but maybe not. We'll see. This is Four Seasons by Barbara Anna. I bought this as a kit from Nika Moscow years ago. And so even though the like little preview card shows it like this, it's charted in one long strip. So this came as a kit. I'm using all of the kit materials. It's DMC floss. There's the kit floss. Kit fabric, I think, is a 32 count even weave or linen, but you can see it's cut long ways. So it's charted all 4 girls. And this is the summer splits the middle. So it's spring, summer, autumn, winter, I think. Might be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. So I decided to start with the summer girl for the strawberry moon sal, because she's got little strawberries coming off of her branches. And that is my start. And then next year, my plan is to get these each done in their season, because that was 2 days of stitching. So I feel like the skirt's kind of big. But I feel like these wouldn't be, each one is not a huge stitching commitment. So I'm hoping next year to get each girl done in their season. So, but there's my start in the middle on the summer girl for Strawberry Moon Sal. Yay! And I have more of these kits. I think I have the one that's like coffee. I have one that's tea. I think I have several more of those Barbara kits. I love Barbara charts. Okay, next up, we're getting into all of the summer seasonal stitching now. I like to stitch in the season that it is. So you're going to see lots of summery charts. So this next one is Sunnyside Sampler by the Drawn Thread. This is my very first Drawn Thread chart. I can't believe it. How have I not stitched a Drawn Thread before? And I am doing this. It's charted all in silks, and I am using the conversion from the Drawn Thread website. The NPIs, they convert to DMC. And so there's the DMC, and the I think it's Belle Soie is the other silk. No, Dinky Dyes, they convert to Gentle Arts. So there's the Gentle Arts. And I am stitching this on a 32 count, I believe. Let me see. 36 count ledger by Be Stitch Me. And I'm so excited about this fabric choice, because to me, it looks like a sun-dappled sky. And here is my start. That's the back side. You want to see my back? There's my back. Here we go. There we go. Isn't this going to look amazing? I haven't really filled in much of the house, but I have the windows and the roof and the trees in the front of the house in, and the little bird so far. So there is the fabric. I think it's going to look absolutely amazing on this Sunnyside Sampler. Very exciting. There's my start. I gotta put everything away, because otherwise it's just gonna be too much of a mess. All right, you're gonna see why I did not have very many, like only the one start and finish, because I kind of started a lot of large things, and this is a full-on bab. This is Fox and Rabbit, Margaret Felicia Dyson, and I love this. I love this sampler so much. It's so wild. It is so wild and unorthodox. I'm going to be taking out, I'm not going to chart her name. Sorry, Margaret. You did a lovely job, but I'm going to take out her name, I think, and I'm going to need to take out some of these doodads. And in that spot, I'm going to put the Morticia Adams quote, "Normal is an illusion. What is normal for the spider is chaos for the fly." Because this just, this feels kind of chaotic to me, this sampler, which is why I love it. So it is charted all in silks, I believe, and with a listed DMC conversion. Yep, it's charted in Soie d'Alger with a listed DMC conversion. I'm using the DMC, and I'm stitching it on 36 count color and cotton in heirloom lace. And this is my roaring start. You can see I don't have to worry about recharting that quote for a little bit. But oh, look how beautiful it is. It's so good. It's so good. I love this flower border. Repetitive borders can sometimes drag me down, but this one's going to be great. There is a note that on the chart, there's like another outer border charted on it. And it said, Karen forgot to stitch the border on the model, the outer border. And I think it's just like a checkerboard border. And I think it looks lovely, just like this. And I tried to look on Instagram to see if anybody else was stitching that outer border, and I didn't find a single person that's also stitching that outer border. So I think we're all in agreement that it doesn't need it. See, Karen knew what she was doing when she stitched the model. So there is my start on that. So pretty. So pretty. And this is in a bag that I had made with a sampler that I finished. This is the Forget Me Not sampler by Brenda Gervais. So why not put another sampler in my sampler bag? Okay. Then I started for Pride Month the Stitch for Pride 2024 stitch along from D's 20 Stitches. I purchased it the middle of last year and never got a start on it. I had done all of the learning modules, but just never started stitching it. And so this year I wanted to start it for Pride Month. These are the colors I'm using, which I modeled after the colors that Michelle Bendy at Bendy Stitchy used. Matter of fact, I think some of them are the exact same colors, but I think a couple of them were, but they're mostly just ones I pulled from Stash. There's some silk, there's some Overdue, there's some Roxy floss, there's some Mrs. Sada silk, there's some Fiberlicious, there's some flower silk. This is just a joyous riot of floss and color. And I am putting it on 36 count linen inspector from Color and Cotton. And I got the January motif done. So kind of a mini Saf. And there it is. It looks so good. It looks so good. So that was a really fun thing to start. And what a joy to stitch, and what a gift from D. So I can't wait. I'm going to put them all. You can do all of the monthly motifs individually, but I'm going to put them all together on one big sampler as they charted. And yeah, it's going to be so great. And this is the perfect bag. Love it. Okay, next up is another funny to me. Bury Me With My Needle from Lindy Stitches. I think I told the story of my daughter talking about cremating me with my Haid in the last video. So if you want to hear why I am recharting this, you can go check that out. Just know that kids humble you. So I am not doing these words. I'm doing from here down, and this is going to get recharted to say cremate me with my Haid. So funny. I'm stitching this on a 36 count linen in cinnamon from Be Stitch Me. So a little bit of a different color, but also still a fun dark one. You know, not dark, but like just a fun color that I thought was going to look great with this. And there's my start. I got a pretty good start on this. And I think this is a Stash conversion. Oh yes, it definitely is. Is it all Color and Cotton? Oh yeah, it is. It's all Color and Cotton. So, which is definitely is not charted in. It's charted in Dinky Dyes and DMC. So there is my Color and Cotton threads. It's going to be mostly, you know, black, but there we go. There's my start. I really should have finished this bird at the very least, but I didn't. But there's my start on Bury Me With My Needle, aka Cremate Me With My Haid. Hopefully finished. Hopefully it will be finished by the time I expire. That would require me to get it out and work on it. I really miss it. My youngest daughter was asking me about it the other day. She's like, did you finish that? No, sweet child. I did not. Okay, next up on this summer seasonal stitches is Hands-On Design. Let's talk summer. I have autumn finished. And do I have winter started? It's a good question. I think so. Yes, I have winter started. I finished autumn. Ta-da. And I started spring this year, and now I have summer started. So now they're all at least started. So here is my start on summer. Ta-da! This is, I believe, 16 count chalkboard Ada from Be Stitch Me, stitching it with all the listed called for DMC colors. I didn't even get all the way through summer, but this is a lot more stitching than it looks like. Those big block letters are they're more stitches than you think. So, but this is going to be a fun series to have done when I get there. I am a sucker. I'm a sucker for a seasonal series. But these are now all at least started, and maybe I'll get them finished in the next few years. And then I couldn't quit with the hands-on design seasonal series because I started Summer Harvest. These little duos. I have the spring ones done. I don't have them in here. I don't know where they are. They're in my finished pile. They're in my finished pile. I'll show you the chart though. This Garden Duet I have finished, and they come with the little felt pieces to put at the bottom, or they're charted. If you don't want to do that, they're on the chart that you can just stitch that instead of doing the felt, but I like the little felt. So I have this set done, and then this is the one I started, and I'm doing these as like stash with stash threads, not called for. And I'm stitching it on a Mystic Fabrics 32 count Big Sky Linen by Mystic Fabrics. And this is a half finish because I finished one of them. It goes this way. So there is Bountiful. And that really stitched up in like 2.5 days. So this is on my list of possible finishes too, because then I would just need to do Plentiful. This one. So that's like a half finish, but that felt pretty good. And it really did go pretty quick. Those carrots look so good. I'm not a gardener. I tried when the kids were little. I don't enjoy it. And we have lots of animals. So it's hard to keep the deer and bunnies and everything from eating it. I don't want to fight them. Okay. So that was a small, very satisfying little finish. And then I went to another bat and started Leela Studios Summer Quaker. These are so gorgeous. These charts are just amazing. And I am stitching this on 36 count Garden Path by Color and Cotton with all the called for DMC. And this fabric is fantastic. It looks like a sandcastle color, which is going to look beautiful with all the blues. And this is where I got to, which felt like a good start, but these are big projects. They're big projects. I'm thinking that next year I'm going to do like seasonal Sunday stitching, and I'm starting all 4 of these. I've already started spring. I'll start autumn and winter this year. And so then next year, I think on the Sundays during the seasons, I'll just work on these and see how much progress that gets me, because I don't want these to hang out for a decade. I want them on my wall because they're amazing. I'm not fussed by how many whips I have. Like, I'm going to end this year with like 140 probably some whips. I spent last year getting under 50 before my 50th birthday. And I have had some starts and finishes, but I'm going to have a lot of whips. And that doesn't really bother me. I tend to be more of a process stitcher. Like, I just enjoy the process of stitching, and like obviously, since I'm not a product stitcher, since I can't be bothered to fully finish a lot of things, even once I finish stitching them. However, there are some things that I just like, I I would like to just gaze at them every day finished on my wall. So, sometime before the end of the next decade would be great. Okay. My next finish, I will put a picture of what it looks like up here because there's not a cover picture on it. This is by Hannah Stitching. I'll link her in the description box below so that it's easy to find her. This is the Darwin Sampler, which has a Charles Darwin quote on it that I love. One of my absolute favorite professors in college was a developmental biology class. I love that quote, and I was feeling it. That is exactly how I was feeling the day that I needed to do a new start. I was like, I should probably start something. It's been a few days and I was feeling very poorly and hating everyone and everything. And so this was the start. And this is, I think, Portobello by Be Stitch Me in a 36 count. Fantastic fabric. And I'm stitching it with Mrs. Seda silk in 02. It's her version of DMC 310. But it looks great. Look at that. So, and this was good progress. This is another one that I think, like, if I had 3 or 4 days, I could probably finish up because it stitches pretty quick. There's another border down here that matches this one and a few more bugs. But otherwise, this is like this is pretty good. I don't think it's fully half because I think this is page 1 and then there's 2 and maybe just a little bit more, but look how good that looks. And there's a Darwin Sampler too that is also in this bag that I want to do as well on the other part of this fabric. So there will be several Darwin quotes with bugs on my wall. Love them so much. Love it. All right. Then I went the other direction and started this Nora Corbett Miss Forest Mushroom. I live in the Pacific Northwest. If you live in the Pacific Northwest, you have to embrace and love moss and mushrooms and slugs. It's just very damp. It's damp here, and you have to love the fungi. So I love this one. I'm stitching it on 32 count linen in Martini by Be Stitch Me with all the called for DMC and beads and things. And this is my start. It felt like a pretty good start. Here we go. Top of her little mushroom cap. So there's my start on Miss Forest Mushroom. Ta-da! And that feels pretty true to color on the linen. So not as like olivey green as the model, but I think the colors look great on it. And it's Martini. How can I not? All right. We're chugging along. We're getting there. See, so many starts. So many fun starts. And then we neared the end of the Supreme Court's term, and they started issuing all of their horrible decisions, as they are wont to do these days. And so I had to start Lady Justice. This was one of my starts this year, but I think I had her slated for later in the year. And as the news kept rolling out and I got more and more frustrated, this was the only thing that I could do to. It's the only thing that I could do to quell my anger. I'm stitching this on 32 count sand dollar by Be Stitch Me with all the called for things. And I am going to use this whole piece of fabric. And my plan is to put underneath her in big letters, "We Dissent," and backstitch in like Sotomayor, Justice Sotomayor and Justice Jackson and Justice Kagan's dissents. So it'll say things like, "With fear for our democracy," and "with sadness," and with deep disillusionment, I'm going to, and then I'll just say, "We dissent," because I do. But here's my start on her beautiful hair and blindfold. So there's my start. So you'll see I'll have plenty of fabric. I'll have plenty of fabric to stitch some quotes into it and register my dissent that way. But there's my start, which just doesn't look that much. It like really doesn't. But this was like 2 very solid nights of stitching. There's just a lot of like color changes and futziness, but it looks pretty. Gosh, it looks good. So that's the like flower crowns on the top of her head and her blindfold. So there we go. It's a start. I'm sure I'll pull this out again anytime I get frustrated to heck with the Supreme Court. And they're letting people be lawless. Okay. Next up, we're back to summer because it is summertime. And I started Summer Refreshes by Summer House Stitch Works. More seasonal series that I love so much. I've done Spring Awakens already, and that's a finish. And then I'm starting the other 3 this year. So this is the first of the 3 that I'm starting because I finished Summer Refreshes last year. It's charted in these bands of different colors. Summer Refreshes, I'll put a picture up here of what my Summer Refreshes look like so you kind of get the idea of what I'm going for. I am doing like an ombre in like a single color story out to in. So you'll see that with Spring Awakens. I did in greens, and this I'm doing in like red corals for summer. So I'm stitching this on 36 count. I think it's a 36. It's a hand dyed by Stephanie 36 in frozen fractals. And these are my colors. So my darkest is a Threadworks in bright red. And then I have a Gentle Arts in Habanera. And I think this is a Classic Colorworks in Goldfish. So that's my like kind of ombre. And this is my start on Frozen Fractals. Isn't that pretty? Doesn't that just scream summer? Just the teal and blue like a water, and then these will be the colors. So they don't quite correspond to these bands. They're going to be in like 20 stitch blocks. So when I pick this up again, I'll be working in this color for the next 20 stitches, and then this one for like 40, and then 20 and 20. So I hope that made sense. But there's my start. Hopefully seeing my spring one makes it make sense. So I got one color band down on my start. It's so good. Love a seasonal series. All right. And my last one that I started just a couple days ago and have worked a couple days on is my July turkey. I love turkeys. I'm stitching 1 turkey pattern a month for a total of 12 turkey starts this year. And this month it was Mr. and Mrs. Delicious by Lindy Stitches. I love this so much. My daughters are true carnivores. The first time they saw a real turkey at a fair, they looked at it and went, yum. So that's why I have to stitch Mr. and Mrs. Delicious. I'm stitching them together on one piece facing each other. So they're going to be together facing each other, Mrs. Delicious, Mr. Delicious. And I think I'm doing this in all the called for gentle arts, and then I subbed out other, it calls for 2 weeks dye works, and I subbed out, I think, a classic color works, and yeah, I think I just subbed out a couple classic color works for them for the week's dye works. And these are my colors. They look really good. This way, I originally had this kitted with Into the Veil, and then I stole it to start Nature's Journey on. So I picked this time a 32 count Through the Stones by Be Stitch Me, and I think it looks great. The green would have looked great. This blue also looks kind of greenish blue, also looks great. And there's my start. So this is Mrs. Delicious, and then Mr. Delicious will be over here. And there's my start on Mr. and Mrs. Delicious. Yum. Turkey yum. And that's it. That's everything I've started in the past 2 months. 2 months? May, June, July. Yeah, 2 months. Woo! So that's all my starts. Do you want to see what I'm planning to start in the next several weeks? I'm hoping to be back in 2 weeks. I take my daughter back to school in Delaware next week, and then she'll be there. She'll be back for just a few days in between her 2 training sessions. But summer's pretty much, my summer with the kids is almost over. So I should have more regular, quiet, uninterrupted time to do updates. So I brought over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 5 of my next starts. So if you have any of these and want to start along with me, let me know, and we can plan a date to start them together, or just know that I'm starting them soon and you can start them. Or if you have it as a whip, let me know and get it out and we can work on it together. Okay, my first one is Half the Fun by Ink Circles. I had started this, I think, a couple years ago and realized very quickly that the thread I had was not going to be enough, and it was like a way discontinued Carrie's creation. There was no way I was going to get more of it. I hadn't gotten very far. I think I had just a couple motifs here stitched. And so I put it aside to restart later, and later has finally come. So I'm going to be stitching this on a 32 count Vanilla Latte by Be Stitch Me, using another one of those Cottage Garden Thread Stitcher palettes. So this one I think was the variegated floss is called Mercator. And then you can see we've got the teal, the green, and the yellow, or the gold. I think it's going to look absolutely gorgeous on this fabric. And we'll see. This is kind of out of my comfort zone. I'm not going to lie, to not do this monochromatic. But I think it's going to look great. I'm going to do these center balloons and sailboats for sure in this. And then I'll pick each little mode of transportation. I'm just going to pick colors as I go, which it's out of my comfort zone, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited to try it. I think the plane should be blue because it flies in the sky. So we'll see. And I'll match each quadrant so that they are all the same. But I think it's going to look great. Fingers crossed. And also that it doesn't make me go a little bit batty trying to do color placement. But I love this palette, and I just think it's really fun for this chart. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited. I think it will look fantastic. So that's my plan for half the fun. I just threw thread everywhere. I'm a huge fan of Tracy Horner and ink circles. She's the designer of ink circles. Okay, the next two, I think this is what I'm going to take with me on my trip back to Delaware, are these two, and it was a collaboration between Plum Street Samplers and Heartstring Samplery. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. They're great. I still haven't decided if I'm going to do these separate or put them together. I think I'm going to do them separate. I think I'm going to do them separately, but then like finish them like little pillows like this. They're charted in the same like palette of DMC colors. Look how beautiful those threads are. And I'm going to stitch them on this 36 count linen from Color and Cotton in Nantucket. I am in the Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month Club. That's why it's a lot of Color and Cotton, because I get a neutral piece every month. Look how beautiful this is going to be. So they're both going to be on this, and yeah, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. It's going to be fun, but this will be great because then I can take two different, not that I think I'm going to have a ton of time to stitch. We're going to be like moving her into the place she's going to be living for the next 3 years. So we're going to put all this stuff. Okay. After that, oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about these charts. I'm going to be starting Rapinis Quaker by Bendy Stitchy. And I love this. It's fantastic. They're all like poisonous plants. Pretty sure they're all poisonous plants. But that's great. I think it would look fabulous as a drum. I think I want to drum this. You like how I'm planning finishes that I won't do, and before I even start them, but that's what I think I want to do. I'm putting this on 36 count Drizzle by Color and Cotton. It's kind of a really pretty subtle blue, and this is all the called for colors. All the called for colors. I think Michelle calls for khaki, Classic Colorworks khaki, but says that 3865 is a good sub. So I think I didn't have khaki. I had everything else. And I'm going to use the DMC for that. But it's going to be great. It is going to be great. So I think there's a bunch of like, they're not a bunch, but I think there's a few specialty stitches in this. Like, look at these flowers. Don't know what that is. I'm very excited for this chart. This is really fun. So if you want to stitch Rapinis Quaker with me, let me know. Okay. Next up is the next in the seasonal Year in the Woods. The year in the Woods patterns from, here it is, Cottage Garden Samplings came out. I was on auto ship and I was like, I love them all. I'm going to start them all. I don't have time to stitch them all. And now they're doing a second Year in the Woods. So what I did was I picked one from each season, and I'm doing one from each season of the Year in the Woods. So I started the raccoon in the spring, and I started the fox. At the very beginning of the year. That was my winter animal. The raccoon is my spring animal, and my summer animal is the bear. Of course. I tried to pick ones that we have like here literally in our yard. We don't see foxes, but that fox was too cute. We do get bobcats. Does that count? Not really. We have bobcats. We had a coyote wander through our backyard the other day. I don't get foxes. I really wish I did. But we certainly have raccoons. we have raccoons, and we have bears. I know for sure I have told the story before of my little 25-pound short man dog treeing a black bear in our backyard, up a huge tree in our backyard. So we do have black bears. So I am really hoping that my conversion works, but I converted this bear to a black bear. So I am stitching this on 36 count Morning Fog by Be Stitch Me. And it's a pretty blue. Look how pretty this is. And here are my colors. So you can see lots of greens, and I think I do still need a couple browns. I don't know why I don't have them in here for the little plants, but this is my black bear. This is what my black bear is going to look like, and I'm really hoping it works. So, because you kind of needed like 4 different colors. Maybe this is my black bear. But we'll see how that goes. Oh, I normally start top left, so I guess I'm not even going to get to the bear for a while. So I'll be starting up here, but that's okay. So then I'll have 3 of them started, and I'll have one more. I'll have one more to start this fall. So cottage garden samplings, I'm keeping them all together in this amazing bag. Amazing bag from Jen. So it has a bear and a raccoon and a fox and a bird, because my fall one's a bird. Not that red bird, but a bird. Okay. And then this is the last one I'm going to show, because I think I hopefully should be back after I start this one. And that is Golden Delicious, because we're getting there. We're getting towards apple season here in Washington. So I'm starting Golden Delicious by the Artsy Housewife. I'm pretty sure this is all called for. Oh, maybe I think I have 2 subs on my sticky note. That's how I have all my notes, are little sticky notes. But there's the colors. I'm putting this on 36 count linen in Parthenon by Color and Cotton. It's going to be so pretty. See, look how good those are going to look on there. So, and I know that this is a big piece. I'm not fooled. I've watched other people start this and talk about how big this is and how much work that border is. And I am undeterred. It is beautiful. And I want to stitch it. So, but I'm not under no illusion that this is going to be a quick stitch. No, it's 201 by 129. That's a large piece. It doesn't look that big. But look at these colors. It's going to be so fun to stitch it in those colors. So, all right, that is it. That's all I have, which is good because it's been like an hour and I'm sick of hearing me talk, so I'm sure you are too. I hope that you are all doing well. I hope that everybody is having a good summer, that you are finding rest when you can and enjoying your stitching. And I appreciate you being here to share all the things with me, the ups, the downs, and of course the stitching. I'll see you next time. Bye.